This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Yeah. So far, what we have learned is, we have spoken about some important stuff about Splunk, and also we have installed Splunk, and we understood, a couple of components in Splunk, right? So now we will move ahead, understand more on Linux, because here in Splunk, right, you need to take the help of Linux as well, because uh, backend servers, you have to work with the Linux. Okay, so for example, now what is backend server and what is a front end? For example, as I already told you about this, so this is your front end server. Okay, you call it as front end. That means uh, this is a server which you can log in with your credentials from the front end, right? So same, you can also call it as a GUI, graphical user interface. Okay, this is your graphical user interface, right? So people call it as GUI or UI. Okay, uh, user interface, right? So this is your Splunk user interface. Okay, now we are going to learn so many things, because majority of the work in Splunk you do using this search and reporting. All right, so this is also one of the.
Excuse me. Are
Yes,
you
please.
sharing your screen or it's just me?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed sharing the screen. Yeah, I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, do you see the screen now? Yeah.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Yeah. 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 So this is the Splunk UI, guys. Okay, UI is nothing but user interface, or you can also call this as GUI. Some other people also call this as front end of the server. Okay, for example, in I mean normal situation, how do you identify a server? Okay, let's say in your organization you have 10 servers. Okay, so when I have 10 servers, which means I have 10 different IP addresses, right? Because each server has a different IP address, right? So similarly, here I have, this server. The IP address of this particular server is this 127.0.01.8000. Okay, 8000. So this server, this is the front end of this particular server. In case if I want to log in to the same server using backend, I can do that. How do I do that? I need to take this IP address and go backend and do it. Okay, now when you go to backend, there are a couple of things, as I said, will be coming into picture in the backend. Okay, in backend servers. Now this is where Linux will be coming into picture. To connect the Splunk servers, you need to use the Linux, right? So we will understand how do you do that. Now here, one more point you have to understand. See, we are doing the training, like we are learning here. There is no real-time servers with us, right? Do we have real-time servers? No. Okay, if you're working in any organization, you will have a servers there, but here we do not have real-time servers, right? First point. So for the same reason, as we do not have, okay, as we do not have real-time servers, right, we are taking the help of AWS, which I discussed in the previous class. Maybe Drew, you are not there in the previous class. I had shared you the recorded video. You can go through that video, no problem. If you have any questions, you can ask me once you go through the video. However, briefly I will also repeating what we have discussed in the previous class, right? So basically in the last class we spoke about Linux and the AWS, right? Now why we are using AWS here? Okay, so as I said, we do not have real-time servers. That is why we have to take help of any one of the cloud technology here. Okay, so now what is cloud computing? Have you guys heard a term called cloud anytime? Anyone want to answer this? What is cloud computing? Anyone? Any idea you have?
Um, it's when resources are not being managed directly on the client's
Yeah.
facility or data center.
True. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah. So this is that is exactly what the cloud computing. Just to add what you said, right? So cloud computing is nothing but it's just give me a second. Cloud. Okay. So before you talk about cloud computing, let's understand cloud. Cloud technologies are so many in the market these days, right? Now, just to understand the terminology of cloud computing, right? Okay, it's like you take service, okay? You take the service uh, from a service provider, right? And you pay it, you pay for it, right? For example, let me give you this example. You're taking my service, right? I'm giving service to you and you're paying to me. It's just something like that, right? So otherwise, you take any of the service, maybe you celebrate any functions or parties, right? You take the service there and you pay for them, right? So here in information technology, what is cloud computing is, okay, um, for example, if you're Indian Airlines, American Airlines, right? Kaiku, you would have heard this, but yeah, just please bear with me. Let me just briefly tell this. American Airlines, right? Okay, American Airlines, right? You're booking tickets, for example. Okay, you're booking tickets on an average a daily basis. Let's say 500, 500 tickets. Okay, uh, have been sold on daily basis. Okay, on an average, guys. Okay, on daily basis. Now, uh, for example, let's imagine if there is any holiday season or holiday seasons like you have Thanksgiving Day or Christmas season, New Year, anything like that, right? When you have these things, more people use the service. They try to plan. I mean, they plan travel to some other place, enjoy things like that, right? So in this particular holiday season, okay, holiday season in this particular holiday season, okay, so on an average maybe you can say 1,000 tickets on a daily basis, okay, on a daily basis. Normal regular days, okay, this is the scenario of normal days, no holiday season, nothing, right? Normal days, okay, but this is a holiday season, okay. But if you see here, holiday season could be there only for a couple of days. Maybe you can say you can call it as 4 days or a 5 days or a 6 days or a maximum of a week or a 10 days, right? Maximum of 10 days. This holiday season you will have maximum of 10 days, maybe more or less than that. But however, after this holiday season, again it will be normal days, right? At that point of time, again 500 tickets only sold. So here, this 1,000 tickets, this business only be there for this Indian Airlines only for a couple of days, right? If you are running a business, if you have some profit for a couple of days, you don't buy servers, okay. Indian Air, for American Airlines, in this particular 1 week of time, they need more servers. But after the holiday season, they don't need the servers again, right? Why? Because the business is going to be same in the normal days, right? So for this particular holiday season, they don't prefer to buy servers. Instead of buying, they would look at something in the market to take servers, who will give servers for rent, okay, to pay rent, okay, for a hire, right? Servers for rent, they look at for it in the market, in the market they look at for it in the market. When they go into market, search for servers for rent, they come across some of the companies called Azure, Microsoft Azure, right? Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud, and you have AWS, Amazon Web Services, and you also have things like some of the HP provided cloud computing technologies are there, and Oracle. Okay, Oracle also there. But in the market, what are leading the market, what are ruling the market currently are these three. They are Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and AWS. These are the main cloud computing technologies in the market. Okay, these are the main cloud computing technologies in the market. Okay, so now what the use of these technologies? You can either go with Microsoft Azure or go with Google Cloud or AWS to take servers. That means to create servers. Okay, you need to create servers. So here we take the help of AWS, since we do not have real-time servers to learn to practice here. Okay, so AWS is something which we are going to learn now. Quickly, if you see, you first of all, I don't know if you have account, but if you do not have account, just create your account with AWS. Okay, with AWS, go here, like AWS console, right? Go to AWS console, AWS Amazon console, right? So go here, there you go. You get to this page. Quickly click here, and you log in here. Okay, if you do not have account, create new account. Okay, click here, you create your new account, and I'm sure you know these details. You have to fill your email address and other details, and verify this everything. You may have 4 or 5 step. When you click here, it go to next page. You need to give your basic details, and it will also ask you to provide your card details, credit or a debit card, so that they take, I think, around $2 or something, which will be refunded back. I don't know, in India it is rupees 2. So they take it and they'll give it back just for security reason. So this is how you create your AWS account. Okay, this is how you create your AWS account. Now after you create your AWS account, you have to um, create servers. Okay, how do you do that? We'll talk about, I will show you that also, how to create. And this is a front end server, right? This is the front end, that is a UI, user interface, right? So now, in case if I want to log into this from backend, I have to take the help of Linux. In Linux, you have some of the flavors, like you have Git Bash, Ubuntu, CentOS, Fedora, and all that. Okay, so let me just so we'll be sharing this as well with you guys. So okay, so we learn Linux to connect servers, to connect the Splunk servers from backend. Okay, so now, sorry. Okay guys, so here if you see, Linux is a open source basically. Okay, you have to understand that Linux is a open source. Now what is open source? What's open source? Open source is nothing but you can use it anywhere in any platform without buying, without paying for it, without licensing, right? For example, if you take testing technology, right? Testing, you have a Selenium, which is the open source software. Okay, you don't have to pay for it, and you can use it. Similarly, Linux also, it's a open source. You can install in any of the Windows system, or any of the operating systems, and you can use it. So that is what uh, open source in general terminology. Now if you see here, open source software and source code available to all. The free software foundation specifies your freedoms, like freedom to run the program for any purpose, freedom to study and modify the source code, the freedom to redistribute the program, the freedom to create directive derivative program. So these are all kind of things that you get in the open source. Okay, so this is little bit more about how it happened. I don't want to talk about it, how it was introduced and all that. So there you go. As you see, why Linux? Why do we use Linux? what all there in Linux, right? So why Linux? See here, why Linux? As you see, there are some flavors, like you have Linux is basically open source. As I said, Linux is a first point that we can talk about is open source. Linux is open source. You get a community support. What this means is, if you need any kind of support at any time, they provide the service. Okay. It's heavily customizable, and most servers runs on Linux. Okay. For example, however, we are learning Linux here for Splunk, right? Similarly, for other technologies also Linux is used. Even if it is any of the technologies that you want to log in, that you want to work from backend, you have to take the help of Linux. Okay. Linux is a it's kind of demanding operating system, right? So now in DevOps, technologies like DevOps, Azure Data Factory, all these things, right? So the at in that particular technologies also Linux is used. Okay, so that's what they're saying. Linux, most servers runs on Linux. Okay, in the next point you see DevOps, most of the tools implemented on Linux only. Okay, DevOps and other tools also implemented using Linux. It's an automation because your data is safe. It's like a backend operations that you perform, right? You can use this as a automation. Automation, like to operate your data. Okay. It's, of course, it's a secure one. Okay, you can use Linux for secure. It's a very secure operating system, and these things. And this you can go through it. However, I'll be sharing this document also with you. Different Linux distributions. Okay, in Linux you should understand different Linux distributions. What are they? See here, popular desktop Linux's operating systems. You have Ubuntu, Linux, Linux Mint, Arch Linux, Fedora, Debian, OpenSUSE. Okay, these are the different Linux distributors. Just since you are learning Linux, just go through all this. Okay, it's not really important as far as Splunk is concerned. In Splunk, you have to use some of the standard commands which we will be learning. But however, since we are learning Linux, just go through these also. These will help you. Popular server Linux operating systems. What are the popular server Linux operating systems? Like you have Red Hat Enterprise Linux and Ubuntu Server, CentOS, SUSE Enterprise. Okay. These are some of the popular servers within Linux operating system. Most used Linux, you can just go through this. This is not really required for us here. Okay, as the document goes, they have given, you can just go through it. Now, here, these are the basic commands that you have to understand. Okay, we will learn each and every command. That is why I said, in case if you do not know anything in Linux, we will learn Linux, no problem. Okay, so that's one thing. So here, before we go into this, you should understand, in Linux, most probably we will be using two flavors to connect the servers from backend. Okay, in Linux, in Linux, basically you have two flavors which we will be working on, or organizations. If you are working in any of the organization tomorrow, okay, they'll also using the same flavor, either one of them. Like one is git bash, okay, and putty, this one. Okay, git bash and putty, these two, it is all same, guys. There is no difference at all. Whatever the commands that you will be, that you can use in git bash, same commands can be used in putty as well. Whatever the command you used in putty, same can be used in git bash as well. Okay, it is all the interface. I will show you the difference, but at the moment, as far as the commands, as far as the process is concerned, you follow the same process for both the Linux operating systems, Linux flavors, these two are. Okay, now what is how it looks like, I mean, git bash and putty. If you see, first of all, you need to install it, right? So you go here, go to any of the browser. Okay, type for download putty. Okay, just click here. You can take anyone. Just see here, download putty, a free version. Just right click and take it. Click on download. Okay, it will be downloaded. Okay, so since I already have it, I'm not downloading it once again. So once you download, it will be there in your local machine like this. This is putty. This is putty, guys. Okay, this is how you log into Linux. This is how you log into one of the flavor called putty. Okay, if you want to log in into putty here, if you see whenever you open putty, right? So first it will ask you to give the host name. You see here, host name or the IP address. So you need to mention which server you want to log in, because you are logging into server, which means you will have the IP address, right? So for example, just an example, this is my front end server. Okay, as I said, this is my front end server. Now I'm trying to log in the same server backend. So I copy this IP address. I go here. Here it may not work, but I'm just showing you the process. Okay, just to give the IP address, nothing else. Okay, click on open. There you go. Okay, here you will not have access to connect to the server at the moment, right? So basically, this is how you log into the server from backend. Okay, this is your, now you have two servers, same server, front end and back end. This is the server 127.01.8000. This is your front end. Same server, you have back end also. If you want to operate anything, you can do either from front end or back end. It depends on your requirement. So this is how you work on putty. Okay, so commands, that is different story, we will be talking about it. However, so this is what front end and back end, how you log into same server. Now putty is one, right? So again, there's one more thing, is git bash, right? Linux flavor, you have putty and git bash. Some of the companies are go with putty, some of the projects work on git bash. Okay, you can learn both. It is all the same commands, right? So now, um, how do I install git bash? Same thing. Okay, just go to a browser. Okay, just go to a browser, any of the browser, and download git. Just write for download git. There you go. You get this one and take this page, open this in a different tab. All right, so this is where your git bash, sorry, yeah, git. Okay, so git bash, so you can click on here just to download. Your git will be downloaded. Again, I have already git bash downloaded. I will show you. See, this is how it looks like, git. Okay, click here, and this is your git bash. All right, so if you could see the difference here, if I want to log into server using putty, okay, it will ask me the IP address first and then I log into server. But here in git bash, you can directly log into a server. Okay, so now this is your putty and this is your git bash. It is all same. Okay, you see the screen, same. You can work on backend, either one you can use, either one of them. Only difference is, uh, you log before you log in, you need to mention the IP address. If you're logging in using putty, first you need to mention the IP address. This is putty and this is your git bash. You can log into server and then you give the IP address here, for git bash. So you can identify it looking at the uh, this symbol as well. Okay, the image also. Putty looks like this and git bash looks like this. Okay, so this is how you install and download and you start working. Okay, so this is what your Linux. Now, okay, so either you can use any one of them, putty or git bash. You will be using the same command. Okay, you'll be using the same command. Okay, let's talk about these. uh, these are the commands, these are the basic commands in Linux you will be learning. Either, as I said, you can either use putty or git bash. you have to use the same commands. Okay, for okay, some of the basic commands here we will understand. Okay, so now first thing is pwd. Okay, present working directory. Okay, why do we use this command? To know where you are. For example, if you are in downloads folder or in desktop folder, okay, if you want to know where you are, you just give pwd. Okay, when you give pwd, you can understand like which location you are in currently. Okay, so that's why you use this command pwd. Everything I will be showing it to you, don't worry. At the moment, just understand the commands. Now mkdir, create directory or folder. Okay, if you want to create directory or folder, okay, in your home directory, you can use mkdir is the command. Okay, this is the command. Now change your current working directory. Change your current working directory. What is that? The command is this cd. Cd is to change directory. Okay, remember this as well. Cd is to change directory. Okay, cd is to change directory. These are very basic commands. You need to remember these commands. Basically, whenever you are working, it will help you in the Linux. Now to create some more directories and list them with ls. Ls is the command which is used to check the list. For example, let's say you have one master folder, maybe a downloads or a desktop, whatever. First of all, you go to desktop, cd desktop. When you do cd desktop, to check the list what are the folders available in that particular desktop folder, you need to give command ls. When you give command called ls, you will see the list basically. Okay, this is used like this. ls is used to check the list. Okay, now create some empty files. Create some empty files with touch command. If you give touch command, you can create some empty files. Just some of the scenarios you need to create empty file. At that point of time, you can create files using touch command. Okay, so these are so whatever we are learning with respect to the Splunk, what are commands we'll be using for Splunk. Reconfirm your location in your system. Reconfirm your location. If you want to reconfirm your location, you need to follow this process. First, you have to do pwd to know where you are, present working directory. Okay, after you do that, you do ls to check the list. This is how you reconfirm your location. Okay, just to reconfirm what are the folders available, where am I, which folder that I am into. To understand all these, you should follow this process. Okay, absolute path, relative path, this is not really important for us. You can just go through it since you are working on the Linux, right? So, and some of the absolute, see here, creating directories in DevOps directory, there are some
Sorry,
folders. Yes, please.
please. Can you go back? Can we do this some of the absolute part again and see in a relative part and see some? I think you say it's not important to
Yeah,
us. Man.
yeah, you want me to talk about that? Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. So yeah, this is one. Absolute path, relative path. So what is this basically? So let's understand then. See, a path, a unique location to a file or a folder in a file system of an operating system. A path to a file is a combination of alphanumeric characters. Okay, so basically, path. What is path? For example, in a normal terminology, if you see, if you are working in any of the project, like for example, if you are searching, if you're doing for some Google search, Splunk, interview questions. Okay, for example, if you're searching for it, this is the path of this particular search. Link, a couple of people call, hey, share me the link of this particular search you're doing, or some other people, hey, share me the path. Okay, so this is the path basically. This is, couple of the people call it as a link, or this is the path. Okay, so now this is exactly what he's saying. The path is okay, where is it? Okay, yeah, okay, this is what the this is what path basically. How do you define? Okay, see, if you ask me, hey Keiko, what is path, you can tell me like you go to any of the browser, and the link that you get is nothing but a path, right? In the language that we communicate is different. The language that you communicate using technical terminologies is different. For example, what is Splunk? I can say that, okay, Splunk basically a machine data analyzing tool. You do the log searching using Splunk and all that. I would say like that. But if you go to a Google, or if you actually search the definition of Splunk, you get something else. I mean, with technical terminologies, right? So, for example, what is Splunk? The language that we communicate is different. The language that you see with the technical terminology is different. So when you ask Google what is Splunk, it will tell you that, okay, this is what Splunk is. Okay, Splunk is nothing but is a log machine generated tool. We use Splunk to analyze the machine data. Okay, to analyze the data, it like that you get things like that, right? So similarly here, path is also same. Okay, a path is a unique location to a file or a folder in a file system of an operating system. A path to a file is a combination of alphanumeric characters. This, see, you have alphanumeric characters, you have everything here. See, you have letters, you have symbols, you have letters, everything alphanumeric characters. So this is nothing but a path. Okay, this is the example for path. Anything, any Google search that you do is a example for path. What is absolute path and what is relative path? An absolute path is defined as the specifying the location of a file or a directory from the root directory. In other words, we can say absolute path is a complete path from start of actual file system, from actual file system or directory. Okay, this is what it is. This is the definition sort of thing. You can just look into it. Okay, this is what the absolute path. Within this path there are types, right? One is absolute path. See here, these are the examples for absolute path. Like for example, home Imran is something, the folder name. Okay, you may have different folder. So these are the, for example, etc give the folder name or a configuration file name. We will see these more when I log into Linux in Splunk. Okay, but these are the examples for your absolute path. Okay, so this is what it is. If you see, all these paths started from directory, which is a root directory for every Linux machines. Okay, what is the relative path? Okay, what is the relative path? Now let's understand. Relative path is defined as path related to the present working directory. Suppose I am located in home Imran, and I want Imran. This is the my local machine folder name. Don't get confused. If you have some other name, you will see different thing here. Okay, my local machine folder name it is, and I want to change directory to home Imran and Linux practices. I can see relative path connect to change directory to Linux practices and do DevOps directory. Okay, this is, you change the directories if it is not required all the time for you, but in case if you want to change using relative path, this is the process that you follow. They have actually given you the screenshot as well here. You can see here, just an example. Okay, for example, remember guys, one thing, you cannot directly go into a particular place in Linux. Okay, for example, I want to check a specific folder. I cannot just directly go and do cd and give that folder. No, you cannot do it, but you have to follow a certain process, step by step process. Okay, that's nothing but, see here, they wanted to check a folder as per the screenshot, right? So what they've done, they have gone, first you have to do pwd as per the process in Linux. First you should go to present working directory. You should know where you are. Okay, for that you have to do present working directory. After you do present working directory, you will know which folder you are you in a desktop folder, are you in a um, uh, mm, downloads folder, wherever you are. After that you do ls. Why is because, again, to follow the process you need to check what are the folders available there. For that, as I have told you some time back, the command ls should be used. Okay, ls is to check the folders list basically. Okay, so you have to do this and then you follow the certain process. Okay, so this is this is just an example for a relative path, and this is what you can understand about absolute path and relative path for your understanding. Okay, so this is what it is. And now some of the frequently used commands we will see here, and they are creating directories. You can create, you follow this process to create the directory here. Okay, so ls, see guys, most frequently used commands in Splunk also, ls is one, pwd is one. Okay, we'll be using all these commands most of the times. And to copy command would be cp. See, this is here. Now what they're trying to do here, they want to copy a file. Okay, they could just do cp and give the file name for copying, right? But they could not do it because, as I said, there is a certain process to be followed in Linux. You cannot just directly come and copy, right? For that, even if you want to operate any specific command, you have to come from the first step. That is, a step one is pwd, present working directory, do ls and then copy. Okay, this is standard process that you have to follow. From one location to another location, if you want to copy, see here again, they have to do entire process and then copy command cp. So point here is the command to copy any file is cp. Cp is the command to copy. Okay, now that's what it is. And moving the files from one location to another, moving, mv, moving the files. If you want to move file from one location to another location, command would be mv. Okay, mv, v for victory, right? So mv is the command to move. So they, in this screenshot, they are trying to move the files from one location to another. For that, what they have done, they had to come, they had to follow a certain process, step by step process. They've done it, right? This is what it is. And now removing the file from directory, this is how you remove it. Rm commands to remove the directory, command would be rm. Rm is the command to remove. Okay, these are some of the, you can list down those commands whenever you get, you can understand, whenever you see some time you can understand. Okay, we will see these two. Vim, vi command is one very important command, frequently used command. Okay, so everything we will do in Linux, vi command is used to, is used for what? Edit. For example, you have one folder, you want to edit the folder, you can use vi command. But to edit the folder you need to follow a certain process. Okay, to edit the command you need to follow a certain process. Now what is the process? See here, first you have to give the file name, okay, vi file name, or you can give vim, but normally we give only vi. So just give vi and the folder name here. Okay, hit on enter. When you hit on enter, you get like this kind of a black screen you get, right? So as soon as you hit on enter, when you get this, hit on I in your keyboard. In your laptop you have I, right? Letters, right? Hit on I. See here, that's what they said. Hit I, okay, to enter into insert mode. That means unless you hit on I, you cannot edit. Okay, you will not be in insert mode if you do not hit on I. It is really important to hit on I. Okay, if you hit on I, only then you will be in the insert mode. That means you can insert now, you can do, you can write or delete anything. Unless you hit on I, you cannot do that. Now after you do, you see something, you are now in insert mode, so you can write anything here like this. Okay, type few lines. Okay, you can type anything, whatever you want. In case if you want to write, you can write, type anything. Otherwise, if you want to delete anything, if you already see something and if you want to delete, you can do that as well. Okay, basically you are editing. After you do this work, you have to hit on escape. In your laptop you have escape button, right? You have to hit on escape. This is the process using vi command, step by step process. First you have to give vi, give the file name, okay, hit on enter. You get this black screen. After you come into black screen, you hit on I to get into insert mode. After you're in insert mode, you can write or delete anything you want. After you do this, you have to hit on escape. Okay, you have to hit on, why do you do that? If you hit on escape only, you will come out of the insert mode. You will come out from the insert mode. When you come out, that means you are good now. So to save it, you have to save it, whatever you have done the changes, right? To save this, you have to give shift colon wq. This is the command, colon wq. Okay, if you give this command, which means you are whatever the changes you are done in Linux are saved, and you are now out of the screen. Unless you do this, whatever the changes you do will not be saved. Okay, this is how you use vi command. Okay, this is the process of using vi command. Okay, see, simple process. Just give vi, give the file name, enter, you hit on I, you come into insert mode. Okay, you write or delete anything, hit on escape. Okay, you will come out and then save it with this command. This is the process of using vi command. Now there's one more command which is a cat, cat. Okay, if you give vi command, you can edit. If you do cat command, you can just see the folder. Okay, for example, I have downloads folder. I don't know what are the folders available in my downloads. I can do cat command to check that. Cat command is used to get into that file, to enter into that file. See here, to enter into that file. But if you want to edit, you have to give vi. See, vim cat, previously they have done vim, it is a cat cat file name. If you give, you will come into that file. You will see what are the folders available in the cat command, right? So this is how you use this command. However, we will try and understand all these commands. I will show you in Linux also. As I already told you at the beginning, Linux I will just show you. You have to practice for yourself. Okay, so whatever the commands we discussed today, we will work on these commands practically in the next session when we meet. Okay, and two things today, you please install your Linux like git bash and putty in your local machines, and also create account with AWS, and we will start working on Linux and try connecting Splunk servers from the backend from now, from the next sessions, right? So this is how we take it. um, so we will start writing commands in Linux. Okay, now I feel that, I mean, you have to just go through this command. Unless you go through, if I directly show you how to write commands, you will not be able to understand. So my request to you is, uh, go through these commands, list down all the commands, understand why do we use these commands, so that I will show you uh, practically how it works. That will help you. If I show it now, you will not be in a position to understand unless you read these commands first. Okay, so please read this, and we will meet in the next session. That's all for today. Any questions? All right, if no questions, we are good to stop. We're good to close. So I will share this recording with you. Please go through it, and we'll connect in the next session, that is tomorrow.